everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I'm so happy to be back with Change My Mind Live Edition. And as always, I got my partner in crime over here, Jody from Jody's Corner. What's up, Jody?
YouTube was good. How's everybody doing? What's up, Andy? I'm glad to be here. We got some topics to hit. Oh, what a great start to the week.
We're going to do it. I love it. We're back. Here we are side by side. I've been in a movie and I was catching up on my news as I prepped for the show. We got a lot to talk about. One of these I didn't even know happened today. There's a couple. I'm like, wait, what? That happened? What? So it's a surprise for all of us. We're going to be reacting live. You guys can support the stream by super chat and send up your comments of what you want us to talk about. With Jody and I, the way this show works is I sort of name an opinion. Jody's going to try and change my mind, or I might try and change his mind, or we might agree. It's just really an excuse for us to talk about the headlines and argue when we find good things to argue about. So I'm excited. I just saw Invisible Man, by the way. I'll be doing a review tomorrow, but did you see it yet, Jody?
I didn't get a chance to. I'm looking forward to it.
I liked it. It's a little slow. It's a little part. They're definitely they're stretching it out so you get that tense. But overall, I dug it. But it could have been a little tighter. But other than that, she's fantastic, and there's some really fun sequences. So look forward to that, guys. But I'll get into more of that in a minute. Main event I want to talk about is Hank Azaria leaving The Simpsons. I may do another video. I have a buddy over in India who I wanted to talk to us about specifically, but because he had a lot of really smart thoughts about it. But I'm such a Simpsons fan, if you can't tell behind me. This is literally all. There's Apu. Got a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about why I think that was not the right decision. But before we do that, did you hear this, Jody? Bob Iger is no longer the CEO of Disney.
I heard that when it was I heard that before I went to sleep, and when I just woke up a few minutes ago, I saw it all over the internet again. So I didn't even have a chance to give an opinion.
They just confirmed, Bob Iger is out. He will be fulfilling his board contract at the end of December of 2021. Assuming the role of executive chairman, will lead the board through his contracts end in 2021. So he's got 2 years still. But they said they're naming Bob Chapek as its next CEO. He was the one who basically led the parks. He was the chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences and Products since 2018. His contract began on February 24th, ends on the 28th of anyway. His with an annual base salary of $2.5 million. Can you imagine? That must be nice. He'll be the seventh CEO to report to Iger and the board of directors. Iger said the Disney board had identified Chapek, blah 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 blah. Why? What's so? This does this surprise you, Jody? Do you think?
Yeah, it surprises me. What the heck? Bob Iger's he's like the head of Disney. He's the CEO, the top dog, the Don, the aficionado. Everybody, basically, if you guys don't know, he's the guy that the all-powerful Kevin Feige answers to. Kathleen Kennedy answers to. He's basically, in Star Wars terms, he's Emperor Sidious.
It's a good way to put it.
And he's gone. Something went down, bro. This just doesn't come.
Well, I mean, the biggest red flag was when he wrote the book, right? Because when he wrote that book and he was out doing so many press opportunities, it was sort of like, well, why are you doing this? Why would you go out there?
Nothing really anything jarring or alarming about the book, though.
But I'm just saying CEOs traditionally don't go out there and do a bunch of interviews and start talking about all the dirty laundry of being the CEO. That's not standard CEO stuff, right? And so that was odd that he sort of needed the FaceTime. So I'm trying to figure it's like he just checked out. Is he realizing it's time to retire now? Like what? It feels like the CEO of Disney is pretty as high as it gets, right? Like what?
That's it.
Where do you go from there?
You don't. Hey, Microsoft. Hey,
yeah,
Apple.
exactly.
No.
Google, I guess, maybe, or who do you go to? I feel like he built Disney so high up. Where do you go? It's weird. I don't.
Retire is what you do.
I guess,
retire and you get that pension and you chill.
I mean, will he actually do that is the question, right? So anyway, he was involved with some of the hugest deals. He took over in 2005. He was presider of the dramatic expansion when they bought Pixar for 7.5, leading buys of Pixar for $7.4 billion, Marvel for $4 billion, Lucasfilm for $4 billion. That strategy and a focus acquiring franchise intellectual property paid off. 2019, Disney film grossed an impressive $13 billion at the global box office, including 7 blockbusters. Disney's market cap was roughly $55 billion when Iger took over in 2005, peaked at $260 billion in January, and as of February, it was 2031 billion. My God, that's growth. Dude did his job. Iger has been one of the highest paid CEOs in entertainment with his compensation package at $47.5 million for the last fiscal year, falling from 65 in 2018. In March, anyway, there's so much to talk, but he oversaw the Fox buy. The company has gotten larger and more complex in the recent 12 months, Iger told analysts on the call. With the asset base in place, our strategy essentially deployed, I felt that I should spend as much time as possible with the creative side of our business because that becomes our biggest priority in 2021. So he'll be still there. He will be spending time with the creative endeavors, and including Hulu and Disney Plus. My goal is when I leave here, Chapek will be just as steeped with all matters creative in the company as I am today. So he's doing a very long transition, which is smart. Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about this for a while of who was going to eventually take over, but I guess I didn't see it happening. And then what do? I'm trying to find like the quote of like, well, what is he going to do? He doesn't even really say. He's just like, I'm out. Anyway, there's nothing to really change my mind on that. I guess should he have left? I mean, sure, you can retire. I'm sure it's a busy job, but how do you get a bigger job than Disney? What's a bigger job? Why would you leave at its prime? Or is this something that, even Tom Brady didn't do, right? Leave when you're ahead. Walk away when it's the best. And good luck, right? Could Disney have gotten any better? Could he have done? What do you think? Was this the high we'll get? Now he can go retire, like you said, on an island with his family?
Since he's the Sidious, he's the guy away at the top, and he's built, like you mentioned, he built so much stuff for Disney. He made the company where it's at, epic and big, but he also was responsible for its failures. Like you take the good with the bad. So everything you hate about Disney right now is on his shoulders.
Well, there's a good
you love about Disney.
That's a debate. Was Bob Iger a success or a failure in your mind?
That's what I mean. You have to say success based off of where he took the company. But I feel like these last few years, he was slipping, obviously. Like the man, I mean, let's think of just a few months ago, the man said the reason why Star Wars isn't doing so well is because they're making too many movies. Like, what world do you live in? Like, are you that out of touch with what the fandom is? You think that there is too much Star Wars, not the fact that the Star Wars movies are actually bad. Like, I feel like he was losing his grip just as well as Kathleen Kennedy never had a grip. And like Kevin Feige, in my opinion, is losing his grip. Maybe it's just he's stale. There's so much that we don't know yet, bro. Like he needs to come out. A lot is going to mean if he leaves this job, which he has, and he goes to any other job, that's going to tell me that he left because some shit was going down at Disney.
Or he just didn't. I don't even know if it's shit going down, but he didn't believe in it, right? That's what he was. He knew it was it could only go down.
Even if you don't believe in it, you don't leave that job. I mean, just for the perks and power alone, you don't leave that position of power. I don't know. So in the next few weeks, if we hear that a girl came out with sexual assault cases on him, or the board was gonna push him out because he was doing some
buy that. I don't think
all
that's
I'm
gonna
saying
happen.
It's got to be no one at the top just leaves the top.
Well,
unless you retire.
They've been speculating his leaving for a while, and there was talk of Feige's was trying to get it. Like, there's talk of this. This isn't that surprising.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear no talk about Bob Iger.
Yeah, no, Bob. He said it. He said it. But what's interesting to me is last year I think we've talked about this. Last year they released so many friggin' movies, right? Disney dropped they dropped the final Star Wars. They dropped Endgame. They dropped Lion King, Aladdin. They dropped Captain Marvel. They were like way too many. Toy Story 4, Frozen 2. It was like, Why did they drop all those movies in 1 year? It just didn't make sense to me. Now it does. He wanted to end the year on a high note of the most highest box office you could do. So he literally was prepping this like, I'm going to leave with the highest $1 billion gross that one could think of. So he literally pumped out all of those franchises to end right when he knew, like, come around February, that's when I'm going to bail. And that I can, after Star Wars, the final one, it'll be another $1 billion to add to my capper. And I can say, look what I did. So look, it all screams calculated to me. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't believe.
The only thing that makes sense, though, is him retiring with that. What we're talking about, him going to retirement is the only thing that makes sense. Him fluffing up the box office, making the most billions in 2019 to go out on a high note, to look like the G. That only makes sense if he retires. I bet not see this man go anywhere else. Because if he goes anywhere else, it's like, bro, What the heck are you doing?
Well,
Why?
he won't for 2 years. He's there till next year,
Well,
2020.
he's not
He's no
actively the
dummy.
CEO.
He's no
He's not the
dummy.
CEO though.
Sure, no, but
He's he
he's a chairman or whatever they called him. But my point being, there's no way
yeah.
he's a professional through and through. Now you're right though. At the end of those 2 years, if he takes something else, we'll see what that means. Because why would you leave unless it's something where like, well, shit, he's got stake in the game on some big thing we didn't see coming. I mean, that dude can get any job he wants. He literally
That's
can
what
do anything he wants after that success at Disney. So it is a shocker in that regard and if he really leaves just to go be with his family, I mean, damn, good for him,
I'm
right?
cool with that. Yeah, that's dope. I mean, the dude has stupid money. I mean, there's no more. He don't need any more money. He doesn't need to work anymore.
Yeah, when it comes to a point where like it seems like you just kind of keep climbing the ladder. But at a certain point, you get to Iger's success. You have a
Exactly.
legacy. You're done. Why keep working when you can be like, you know what? I'm good. I
But
tapping out.
that's the point of having a position like Disney. That's the whole point. If like I think about Walt Disney. This motherfucker, good movie by the way. Shout out to Tom Hanks. I think about this dude who has goo gobs of money, but why is he still running around his theme park and still pushing for that Mary Poppins film? Because he has something within him that drives him. He is a kid inside. He loves these characters. He loves his park. He loves his employees. Like at a certain point, it's not about the actual job. It's about the craft. You love it. Like Bob Iger, he's definitely not that guy, but that's what if I was him and I stick around on a job for 30 years when I haven't needed money for 25 of those years, it's because I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not even that you love what you do, I don't know if we're really factoring in the power behind this position. When you are that powerful, senators, politicians, they comp you. You go anywhere you want in any part of the world. They show you love. You have sway. You got as women unlimited. Take your pick. You hire people. You fire them. You're basically they're treated like a royalty, bro. Like wherever you go in the world, who wants to give that up? You know what I mean? And it's like freak the money. It's the power at that point. And he's abandoning a position of power, which is what's blowing me away. I don't see why. I think it's got to be some scandal, bro. There's got to be scandal coming up or something.
Yeah, you're. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that's.
I know.
I don't see
just,
scandal in his future. He's too smart for that. He's not Weinstein. Like this dude.
Wiley's.
This dude. I mean, because I've been reading up and watching a lot of him. Like he's a smart guy and respected. Like there's never been anything shady about him. I mean, now granted, there could be skeletons in anybody's closet. What do we know? But I'm just saying he doesn't seem like the type. He seems like he's been buttoned up and really this is what he does, and he's really good at the job. So I don't know if I buy all that.
I hope you're right. I'm literally grasping here because this is how shell shocked we are, bro. Like who I mean, if you look at the histories, what real man retires at the top and just gives up his position because he chose to? Usually they're pushed out. Usually they do something. Usually something happens and they tail behind their legs or they still. But this is the first time I can remember a man just out of nowhere. I stepped down, effective immediately, and yeah, thank you guys. What? Well, what?
But
Bob?
if he does it with that sort of what we're saying of just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need anything else. I'm out. Like that is. I mean, that is the most respect you could give, right? Of like, holy crap, dude had King of the Mountain and decided to check out and just like, I don't need it anymore. I got enough. I'm good. Whoever says at that level, when you're that power hungry, which you have to be the CEO of Disney, don't give me. I mean, you have to be. Who has enough to be like, you know what? I'm full. I'm good. I don't need that cake.
That's great. If that's the case, I'll get on my knees and open my mouth because that's a freaking amazing type of person to do that. But I just don't buy that. I just don't believe any man gives up power for free for no reason.
Yeah. Anyway, so this was big news. I think we're in pretty much agreement. I just don't think there's a scandal coming.
This is good or bad news. I don't really exactly know. I got to think about. We need more. This is not enough.
I'll be talking about this again, no doubt. I'm sure we both will. So go subscribe to Jody and obviously stay tuned because there's more to find out here, and we will be covering it as we go. All right. So that was I wanted to go with that surprising news right away. Let's get into the other the main event I've been teasing. Hank Azaria won't play Apu on The Simpsons anymore. A veteran Simpsons voice actor explains why he stepped away from the character, which has been criticized as a demeaning stereotype. In 3 decades that has been voice actor, Hank Azaria played dozens of characters. He's everybody. He's Mo, Wiggum, Professor Frink, for those who watch, and then Apu. I'm trying to get to these. Azaria has played the character since his first appearance in 1990, but he and the show have faced increasing condemnation from audience members who feel that Apu is a bigoted caricature. To these critics, many of whom are of Indian descent, Apu is a servile stereotype. As voiced by Azaria, who is white, Apu's ethnic accent and his catchphrase, "Thank you, come again," have become grating slurs. Azaria now says that he will no longer play Apu in The Simpsons. It is a choice that he said he made for himself after a years-long process of examining his own feelings and listening to others who explained how they had been hurt by Apu, who was for years the only depiction of an Indian person they saw on TV. Once I realized, this is now Hank speaking, once I realized that that was the way that this character was thought of, I just didn't want to participate in it anymore, Azaria told in a recent interview. It just didn't feel right. Even after Azaria reached a decision when she first closed to Slash Film, questions remain about how Apu will be handled going forward, which producers have been hesitant to address. In a statement, the executive producer said, "We respect Hank's journey in regard to Apu. We have granted his wish to no longer voice the character." So now, however, producers did not indicate whether the character would continue to appear in the show or voiced by another actor. In their statement, they said, "Apu is beloved worldwide. We love him too. Stay tuned." There we go. What happened with this character is a window into an important issue, as Zara said. It's a good way to start the conversation. I can be accountable, and I try to make up for it as best I can. I'm just trying to make sure I have all his. Azaria said that at the time he had no idea so many viewers had come to regard Sellers' performance as racist. He's talking about Edwards. He said he drew inspiration from Blake Edwards' comedy The Party, in which Peter Sellers wore brownface to play a bumbling Indian actor. And Azaria said at the time he had no idea so many viewers had come to regard Sellers' performance as racist. That represents a real blind spot I had, Azaria said with some disappointment. There I am joyfully basing a character on what was already considered quite upsetting. Over the next 25 years, Apu appeared frequently, sometimes in an episode that mocked xenophobia and anti-immigration attitudes in America, and Azaria won multiple Emmy Awards for his work on the show, but the character's performance became under increased scrutiny. There's a lot here, but I'm just trying to get... on the Totally Biased with Camille Bell, the comedian Hari Kondabolu celebrated the growing number of Indian Americans on television while singling out Azaria for an obsolete portrayal. This is the guy who then made the Trouble with Apu documentary. Because growing up, I had no choice but to like this. Apu, a cartoon character voiced by Hank Azaria, a white guy doing an impression of a white guy making fun of my father, is how Akanda Blue said it. So anyway, he saw his routine online, but was too defensive to take the message at the time. My first reaction was to bristle, Azaria said, recalling his feelings. Simpsons characters were based on stereotypes. We make fun of everybody. Don't tell me how to be funny. Akanda Blue wrote a letter and starred in a documentary, which spoke to other Indian American actors, performers, discussed how marginalized they face in the entertainment industry. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. The document, I can't read this whole article because it's intense. But this whole reaction to, I love the show. I have tremendous pride in doing the show, and the character of Apu was done with love and pride and the best of intentions. My message is things can be done with really good intentions and have negative consequences. I got called out of this. It's not the end of the world. So he is stepping down as Apu. He is caving in and saying, you know what? Yep, stereotype. You are correct. Sorry, I'm not going to do it anymore. Look, I know this is not a popular thing for me to say because I'm a white person, right? So I can't have an opinion on this. But I really get irritated by this one because I stand by what Azaria initially said, which is there's two reasons I'm arguing this, and I want to get your take, Jody. But let me, I guess, go on a mini rant. Apu is one of the most well-rounded, smart, sweetest characters, I think, on the show. Most of those characters on The Simpsons are just bumbling idiots. But they painted Apu as just a hardworking vegan, Buddhist, or Hinduist. Sorry, Lisa's Buddhist. Hindu. There's so much to his character of just like, the ladies love him. He's respectful. He's smart. He's patient with Homer. He's not dumb like the other ones. He's achieved the American dream. And he is as I've seen other Indian people who've actually debated this, he is a type of person in America, it's not like they're making fun of it. The problem I have with people who are using the Apu, thank you, come again, stereotypes to other Indian people, that's on them, right? That's on the bullies. Those are bullies that are jerks that we should be calling out and saying, don't do that. Don't just assume all Indian people are like Apu. You're a racist if you're doing that. That's what needs to happen. To single out a character on The Simpsons when every character on The Simpsons is making fun of another stereotype or another, I think this is a very dangerous precedent to just give it up and get into the mob and say, you know what? Fine. Listen, we'll just retire Apu. If you kill him off, or stop doing the show, because if you're going to start doing this for Apu, you got to start doing it for the Italian guy, right? The Italian pizza guy goes, you got to do it for groundskeeper Willie, the Scottish guy, right? You got to do it for everybody that they mock on that show, because if you don't, then what are we doing if we just pick out, one character over others? This is going to now be every character, and then suddenly we can't make the jokes, and it's just a very frustrating edge that I think we need to be really careful with, because again, I understand, and I it's hard for me, like I can't speak for people who were offended by Apu, obviously, but I feel like a lot of those people didn't watch the show, and they're mad at the bullies and the ignorant asses who are using Apu out of ignorance to sort of then be racist to them. And that is the problem that needs adjusting. By taking Apu away from The Simpsons, those bullies still win. They're still going to call him Apu because the show's going to live on forever with how many friggin' episodes are we at? 600 episodes where Apu's already been cemented into our, our lexicon. So I don't understand how this helps. I don't understand how this is the right way. There's got to be a better way to either address this or move forward in a way that's not just removing the character and then putting it all on Azaria to force him to quit. It just seems really silly and crazy to me. Jody, what are your thoughts?
I think that I agree with what you say about the people, lynch mobs, sissies, wusses, people who get offended easily. Get rid of that character. He's not representing. He's a contradiction of what we're all fighting for. He's not Indian. That's not good. But those people exist on everything. Yep. They exist for every franchise. They ain't going nowhere. The reason why we're having this discussion, from looking through my eye holes and hearing what you've been saying and looking at this article here, trying to follow along with what you've been saying, this guy Azaria, he's the problem. He gave in to him. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What other characters does he voice for?
I'm sure there's other ones in there if we go through. I mean, Chief Wiggum.
I remember Wiggum.
He does Professor Frank, which is like the nerd.
Okay.
He does Mo.
Him.
He's a Jerry Lewis impression.
Cool. Does he still do those characters?
Yeah, he does. He's doing everything. So I'm going back because he's done more.
So
here we go.
I'm confused. So he plays other characters. I thought they got rid of Apu a few years ago. Didn't they? Stop?
He plays Comic Book Man. He plays Snake. He plays the Sea Captain. He plays Bumblebee Man. Well, there you go. There's another one, right? Bumblebee Man's the
Mexican one.
Yeah, it was in the Bumblebee outfit. He plays Cletus Slackjawed Local. He plays Lou, the black police officer. Hey, Chief. He plays Dredrick Tatum, which is a Mike Tyson stereotype. Like,
all right,
you go through this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you're pointing the picture clear. L on this motherfucker, bro. He feels bad because he's older. Is he Indian?
He's also played Akira, which is the sushi chef who serves Simpsons.
Is this actor Indian?
No, he's white, and he plays Carl too, his black friend. Like, it's just like you gotta if you're gonna now
L on his head.
Well, right. If he's now pulled Apu, all of those characters that aren't white now suddenly need to be gone as well, right?
Yes,
and that's what we're now doing.
Work for this company. Like, if you're trying to make it seem like if he's not making it seem. He said Apu is racially this and that, wrong, effed up. I can't play him no more. Then you need to stop working for The Simpsons, because it's The Simpsons that are making that character that way if you really have a problem with it. And like you said, stop voicing the black character, the hillbilly, the Mexican, the mobster. You need to stop doing that shit too. At the end of the day, this is his decision that he's making to stop. He's pandering to those people, and he feels some type of way on the inside. Maybe he has a neighbor who every day comes and looks at him like, hello, oh, you that man who making the Apu. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to... Like, he got people in his life that are just jabbing him because of just the Apu character. Freak that shit, bro. Freak this guy, man.
You're right.
There's a lot of things. Stop working for The Simpsons. It's The Simpsons' fault. Stop doing the other voices. Don't just make it about Apu. It's about everybody.
That
Cletus
is
is much more offensive than Apu.
That is no exact. That is you're just spot on. It's like, and I just want to say, Bunda, just thank you for the donation. If Hank really feels that way about Apu, why not give up his syndication money, or he should just admit he was shamed into quitting. But
Yeah,
it's true. Like you made so much money on this character, so now it's like, well, I took a year to reflect, and we don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna do
you got
it.
so much
It
money. Now
it
you
is
gotta walk
such
away.
a cop out to me for him to say, well, yeah, people complain
Lost
about Apu.
respect for him.
But I agree, and I don't think this is going to actually help him or The Simpsons. And I think The Simpsons didn't help themselves. The Simpsons actually did a move where like they called out the people who were calling them out. And they did an episode where Lisa's like, "How can everyone just fall on a character that beloved forever?" And they looked sort of camera. It was a very like, "Screw you, leave us alone." Apu is a good character, and that got them even more backlash because they're like, "Oh, you're tone deaf. You're not listening. People are offended. You have to respect them." And as I've learned now, it's like once you apologize or give an inch, they want
A
the
mile.
whole mile, right? And so and it's really scary because that is a fact that you see more and more often. If they're mad at you, it's never enough because now it's like, well, great, we got one. So now guess what? You got to remove Bumblebee Man, you got to remove Lou, you got to remove Carl, you got to remove Cletus because that's making fun of lower class
Cletus,
people.
bro.
It's the sea captain. What about all those
Everybody
sea
in the Midwest
captains?
need to be mad at Cletus.
Yeah. So my point, but nerds, like, come on, comic book guy. That's just making. My point is like, when does it stop? Is the frustration and then it's like, well, no, we as Indians have a bigger plight because Apu really hurt us harder than the Asian stereotype did at the sushi restaurant. Oh, okay, like he did a complete Asian stereotype to play Akira. So sorry, Mr. Sim. Like it's the same thing. And what's so frustrating is like why.
Actually, it's less because Apu is popular.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Apu is actually
7-Eleven where it's not an Indian up in that motherfucker greeting you.
Well, no, that's what's so. It is totally real, and that's the problem. Is there's a lot of Indian, Southeastern, is it South Asian? I'm terrible with my geography, but yeah, a lot of people come over here and they do open up a chain, convenience store chain. It's just what they do, and that is a type of person. That's not. It is what it is. Now, the only thing I could sort of argue now in today's times, it's like it would be nice if it wasn't just they actually got other people to do the voices, but at the same time, it's like it's a cartoon that's been going on for decades. And I don't understand why it was okay then and now it's not, is where things are getting problematic. Thomas Lordell, thank you for the support, Thomas. I appreciate it. You're keeping the stream going, Thomas. Thank you for the support. Actors act. Getting mad because a voice actor is the wrong skin tone is racist. Hank Azaria caved to the SJW mob. Comedy is dead. Look.
That's what I'm. Yeah. What about the protection of satire? Simpsons is like Family Guy, just not as dope or not as hard.
Correct.
It's satire. It's comedy that protects it. Why the freak is this guy? I'm telling you, this dude, Hank, he got something personal up his butt. He got a neighbor or he got a freaking father-in-law that's Indian or something that's giving him a hard time, bro. I lost respect for this guy.
No, I will be honest. I am too, because I think he's caved, right? And that's what's happening all over Hollywood right now.
Ugh.
Everyone's just caving left and right when someone tells them they have to. That's the world we live in now, and it's frustrating. Now, if he had stood up against it, he would have gotten flack too, right? There was sort of it's a lose-lose for him in a way, because at the same time, I feel like the Simpsons sort of just need to own it of like, no, we stand by this character, and they needed to be harder and own why that character.
Am I tripping? I thought they got rid of Apu a couple years ago. I remember him being
they
in the
have.
news like
He's disappeared. He hasn't been on an episode in a while because they sort of slowly phased him out. But they acknowledge he's not like no one's really admitted that he left or he quit. And that's the thing like they should have said nothing. If they really wanted to play it safe, say nothing, right? That's what's frustrating.
This is all Hank. This is all on Hank.
But the Simpsons. Well, I wanted to say because the Simpsons are. This isn't the first thing they've done. They also took away the Michael Jackson episode, which was really, really, really irritating to me. And I will tease and just debut this here. I'm getting soon. I will be unleashing Hugging the Cactus, which I'm really proud of. If you guys can go subscribe over at YouTube, go look up
to the channel.
Hugging the Cactus. Subscribe. I'm going to be loading episodes there if I can get to the 1,000 subs that I need. So everybody watching, please go over to Hugging the Cactus and subscribe. But I just interviewed Taj Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, and had a fantastic long-form conversation with him, getting into all of this sort of the stuff that happened to him. But we talked because I brought it up. I'm like, man, when the Simpsons did that, that's really sort of normalized everybody sort of thinking it was okay to go against Michael and not actually look into some of the facts, which we go into in depth. I implore you, I've always just thought, well, no, Michael's done this and be patient, hear this out, and look up some information because we will blow some of your minds. But it's just frustrating because that to me was the first round where I was like, come on, Simpsons, what are you doing? They've pulled that episode from Disney Plus. So that episode with Michael Jackson is no longer there. And so this isn't the first step of them playing it safe because they feel like they need to. And I feel like of all the people, I don't even believe they really want to do it. I think they're just doing it because they don't know what to do better. And that's frustrating. And so this is just now, as a huge Simpsons fan, and I've been my whole life, I will remain a huge Simpsons fan of those first years with Apu. But I'm starting to get uninterested and phase out because it's like, what are you guys doing? Stand by your convictions. If you want to have a conversation or a town hall about it and actually trying to address like, all right, let's listen. Here's why we believe Apu isn't that way. It's acting. And, anybody who's calling you out as an Apu or these things, let's have conversations about that. Let's start educating people that that's not okay. Let's start figuring out ways to like do that. Because to me, that's the bigger issue here, not Apu necessarily, because, again, I want to make it clear, Apu is a fantastic character. He's so smart, sweet, hardworking. Guys, in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there anybody who's not actually mean-spirited or out to get somebody or evil or a buffoon in any other way? Marge, right? It's like Marge, Lisa, and Apu are the three characters that sort of are the heart of the show. And so, to me, when everyone just complains because they're just being called Apu, they're mad at all these jackasses who are calling them Apu, which they should be. That's because those are jackasses. But they probably never even watched the show to see how amazingly, good of a character Apu is. That sort of, I'm sure, gets people, surprise people, like, oh, the Kwik-E-Mart guy actually is like a really smart, sweet guy. He's a vegan. He's all these things. It's like it makes people open up their eyes. So
I'd like to shed some light on this. So I looked into some past articles. I wanted to see what he was talking about, and I came across Priyanka Chopra. She's an Indian beautiful actress.
Married to Nick Jonas. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. She said, quote, that Apu's character from The Simpsons was the bane of her life. She said she says, quote, I was always asked when I was in school and high school, like around 14 to 15, why I didn't speak like Apu. I always had questions like that. She does not like the Apu character. She feels like the power of that character stereotyped her and made her life harder.
So what do you think?
Freak out of here. The freak out of here. It's the mob, bro. Apu's not that. What that?
It's time to erase stereotypes. Yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, it's pop culture, but that gives it more responsibility.
Man, you know what? I wish I could take back time and see if these motherfuckers are still speaking that same energy. Oh, you're offended by Apu? Okay. Doc, get the DeLorean ready. You got the flux capacitor? Is it fixed? All right, the show. We got to go back to 1989 and erase Apu from the histories, and he never existed. Bro, Apu did more good for the Indians than bad.
I totally agree.
Then y'all be complaining about there's not an Indian character. I guarantee if you could trade the 30 years that Apu did, they would do it. All right, we're going to take him away completely and make y'all really not irrelevant.
You just said it. That's what's frustrating to me, because even she's saying it, right? She's saying, everyone just said, why don't you talk like Apu? Right? Now, that's ignorance, and that's education we need to provide. But what's frustrating to me is if she watched the show, she would see Apu was much more than just a stereotype. He was, in fact, probably the only well-rounded, developed character on that show. And so that's what's so frustrating to me of, like, exactly what you said. Apu is actually a fantastic representation of a character, of a person that moves to America and works at a convenience store. That's a real person in the world. And anybody who's
love and respect.
Yeah, and anybody who's saying that, oh, you should be like that guy, like that person needs to be called out because that person is being ignorant. That's the frustration. And so this idea that we need to cancel this and remove this character so people aren't dumb is backwards thinking. We're not educating. We're erasing history.
She says, yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, it's pop culture. It's a super successful show, but that gives it more responsibility. No, it don't. Why does it? Because it gets popular, all of a sudden it has to change. Why? Because it influences more people? Well, the people are what made it popular. She's included. I bet you she was watching that shit as a kid.
I want to get some of these
crazy,
guys.
man.
K Dots, welcome back, K Dots. Love seeing you. I don't like
Flash.
Simpsons at all, but freak this dude Hank. He's been working for them for this long, and now
Yeah.
breaks. I have no respect for this clown. He can
Yeah.
go. Look, I'm with you guys. That's why I wanted to talk about this because
attention.
I'm a diehard fan of the show, and I love Hank
Yeah.
Azaria. His voice work is fantastic. But look, he got screwed by the mob. He's being pushed. He's being peer pressured. Now I don't know if that's Disney, if that's Simpsons, if they're like, dude, Hank, you better get in line. We're not canceled. You better quit. That's going to make you look better. Like, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, so I don't want to be as hard on him as possible, but I will say I think this was a really bad mistake. I don't think this will actually help him in the long run because the character exists. You can't erase the character. You got to own it. And, if you want to say, look, the Simpsons aren't doing it anymore, I do what I'm told. And if the Simpsons wanted to do that, if the Simpsons should just phase it out, and then we could have been mad at them and not Hank. But this spotlight on sort of leaving a year for Hank to sort of, because everyone's asking him, they're not asking Simpsons. They're like, so Hank, why do you do that? Why do you do that stereotype thing? The dude broke. So look, I don't necessarily like hate him as much as I hate the situation that it's become. And I can see, look, sometimes the pressure is too much to bear. I get it, but I don't think this was a good move. Justice Divine.
Go ahead.
Justice Divine, do you have to look like the character you voice? No, you shouldn't. Bart Simpson is a girl. Nancy Cartwright is a girl Scientologist. Like none of those things are Bart Simpson, and I'm not going to judge her for those. It's like she makes a great Bart voice. That's all I care about. She has made a Bart voice.
Is a 50-year-old white woman.
Yeah, it's like if we start doing that with cartoon voices, we're losing our minds. It's crazy to me. And then Bunda, should Trey Parker stop voicing Cartman? No, dumb. No, but which one should be next is Shitty Walk. Those guys, those characters on South Park probably are not going to stick around much longer. Well, actually, I don't think Trey and Matt would ever cave. They stand by their convictions like crazy. South Park does not cave to the peer pressure ever. They had the Prophet Muhammad was going to blow them all up in their offices, and they said "F you, we're doing it." And then Comedy Central blurred it. But Trey and Matt are about as baller as it gets when it comes to cartoon creators. Go ahead, Jody. What were you gonna say?
I feel like this dude is just really a fraud. I lost respect for this man. You're still working for them. It's the Simpsons that should be getting this backlash, not him. I believe he's doing this for a statement to be seen as a hero. But this fool is you're playing Cletus, bro. So and what this is what I get. If it's really true that the one race that's giving you all this flack is the Indian race, he's making the Indian race look weak. Because Cletus is a much worse character, bro. And I guess the hillbillies just don't care about how you treat the hillbillies. Hey, Betsy, we eating tonight. Come on, Jeremy, Ruber, Sally, Peter, Bob.
And that's
Ray,
a great joke.
Billy. He had 300 coupons, no limit. Come on, bro. He was eating animals and shit. Like, stop it.
And then, let's not forget, it wasn't just, where I get frustrated is everyone forgets this, but I have it here. It wasn't just Apu, right? There was his brother, Sanji, right? But then he was married to Manjula, which I have here. Yeah. And then they had the octuplets, which were adorable. Yep. They were building out these characters and this family that are now also canceled by association because Apu's not allowed.
Stupid.
I want to read a comment.
So you're making it seem like the Indian fans can't take the heat.
Correct. Well,
they're lashing out.
Let's hear this from AJ. I saw you in the comments. Thank you, AJ, for this comment. I'm Indian. I got a lot of Apu jokes in middle school, but that is just middle school bullies. Immigrant kids I know are used to that and brush it off. No one I know that likes the show is mad at Apu. That's the problem. It was a bunch of these comedians, and this guy was like, I'm going to make a documentary to sort of show that Apu is awful. And then he didn't even really watch the show. He just talked to a bunch of other actors. They all just sort of ribbed it together. I didn't like it at all. And then it was sort of like he made it such a loud noise about it. And then the Twitter and the world's like, well, we got to support this cause. This is someone's upset. We can't let them be upset. We must fix this problem. And injustice being happened.
If I'm Indian, I'm mad, bro. He's making the Indian people look soft.
Well, I would love. I wish there would be can there be a petition of Indian people who are like, no, this is stupid. We aren't like sensitive idiots. Like we can stand up for ourselves and know that Apu is a strong character beyond a stereotype. And we don't want this. He was a character that was beloved by many.
Andy, can I ask you a question? If you feel like your employer is paying you money to make a very racist, stereotypical character that you don't believe in anymore, shouldn't you be mad at your employer?
Absolutely. And he didn't. He called it his blind spot and all. Like, dude, you were doing your job. And the hypocrisy. Like, let's go. I just want to. Let's open this up so everyone sees. The dude is voicing the Bumblebee Man. He's voicing Akira. He's voicing Carl. He's voicing Lou. He's voicing Dredger Tatum. Like, why do you think that? Why would you give up on Apu when you know you're playing other characters of ethnicities?
I'm telling you, he got somebody down at the wash house that's Indian. He's been trying to plug for the longest time, but she won't give him none because he makes Apu. That's what it is. Something personal.
He also did Mr. Mr. Sparkle. Like,
he did
Mr. Sparkle. So it's like, dude, what are you thinking, Hank?
Thank you, man.
Just
freak
don't do
guy.
it.
He's a piece of shit. Hey, freak Hank, man. He's garbage. I'm done. Freak this guy, man. I have no respect for this guy at all. You are voicing all the racist characters, and you're only pointing out man. Freak this guy, man.
He also voiced Shellfish Sheldon. He's not a shellfish. How dare he? But honestly, that's where it's going to go, right? Get real lobsters to voice lobsters. That's where we're heading.
Created the character and leave the Simpsons. Stop cashing that check, Hank. Oh no, I didn't say that. Okay, you didn't. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, he makes so much friggin' money. He could be like, I'm dropping. But that syndication money, who wants to give that up? No, he won't. It also just it's very strange to me that he said anything. Why did he say anything? Like, just as we wrap up, like, if you're in this situation, The Simpsons is like, crap, what do? We don't want to piss people off. We know there's fans who are going to be mad at us if we cancel them. There's clearly fans who are mad at us because we avoid it. Wouldn't you just say nothing? Wouldn't you just keep going and just sort of phase them out slowly or quietly and not address it? Be like, yeah, we don't know. We're figuring it out.
I'm going to continue to make up excuses why he's doing this. I think that, honestly, the person, he has cancer and he's got 3 months to live. And the only person that he knows of medically that shares his blood type to save his life is an Indian. And the Indian says, I will not give you my blood so long as Apu is on the air. So he said, all right, freak it. I'm going to keep making excuses up to make reasons why he would do this shit because none of this shit makes sense, bro.
Yeah, well, someone's going to come at him next. Well, what about Bumblebee Man? What about Carl and Lou? Are those really characters you should be playing?
They won't.
Oh no! People, the internet, the media just has to. Well, I see. What about those characters? They're going to start putting them. I hope someone does, so it teaches him the lesson. Because why is it different? Why is it different?
It's not.
Mike Tyson's not offended by Dredrick Tatum.
Mike Tyson, Dredrick Tatum, come on.
Like the.
Come on, Mr. Sparkle. Oh, Mr. Parker, come on!
It's all stereotype, and that's what Simpsons is. Groundskeeper Willie, I don't know who voices that. But anyway, the point being now, where does this go? Look, I'm going to continue this conversation because I want to. So I'll probably do another video. And I have a buddy of mine out in India. I want to get him to sort of go around talking to other folks out there, just sort of like, are people really mad? Is this something they're really mad about? Like I know one person can't speak for all, but I want to try and get more of a window of not LA Indian comedians. Like I want to really get to the source. Like, is this something that's really troubling and the bane of your existence? Like Chopra says, let's really find out how hurtful this really is. Because as Ajay said here, I think it's the bullies we got to focus on, right? It's the education. And there's ways you can do that smartly through clever writing and a really strong episode that you write and you sort of call out the people who are making fun of those stereotypes. Do a really smart episode about the SJWs coming after the Simpsons and then the people who love the character coming and actually write a heartfelt show that talks about why this is complicated. That's what they've been so good at their whole history. And now they don't even know how to write it. They can't address
you got
this
an
thing.
Indian in your chat. Man of San. He says there was some Indian American stand-up comedian who started complaining about him doing Apu. He says, I'm Indian and I really liked Apu. I found him really funny and cute.
Yeah, no, that was the comedian I was speaking about who did the documentary, The Problem with Apu. It really, anyway, my plush doll back here is going to be clearly worth more money now, so I'm keeping him.
I feel like if you are not a greater character, if you don't have more Hollywood sway than Apu, you can't talk about Apu. Priyanka Chopra, Apu's more popular than you. Shut up. Until another Indian actor comes out that is on Apu's level or higher, I won't hear nothing.
Well, there we go. I'm sad by this news. I miss Apu already, and the rumors were that we'll just replace him with someone of Indian descent.
Who are you mad at the most, man? Who are you? What are you mad at?
I'm mad at the Simpsons because of between this and the Michael Jackson thing, I feel like they've lost their cool. Like the episodes, definitely aren't as good, but I think people are mean. There are still funny episodes, but it went from really smart jokes that were clearly through a writer's room of 10 takes to now just like celebrity. Isn't that funny? And it just feels a little lazier. At the same time, it's like 30 something seasons. Like, I don't know how they're still going, but they are. Money is how they're going. But look, I think, integrity is all you get. Matt and Trey Parker, another example. Like even Seth MacFarlane, I feel like all these people stand by their conviction, right? They'll do it. They offend all people. That's what they go. They'll do it. And Seth MacFarlane's like a very liberal like person out loud, but this is the same guy who did "I saw your boobs" straight at the Oscars to all these women. So it's just always funny to me to see that. Like when are they? I don't know. I'm mad at the Simpsons.
You have 100%.
I'm mad at the Simpsons.
If you have 100% points to give out, you have 100%, and you have three factions: the Simpsons, Hank Azaria.
Well, I'm mad at the Simpsons. I'm mad at the Simpsons, and I'm disappointed in Hank. And I'm annoyed.
50-50?
I'm annoyed with the fans who are really like, I'm so. It's just this. It's
40-10, 30-30.
Of between Simpsons and Hank, I'm more mad at the Simpsons because I think they put him in the situation, and I think Hank just should have been smarter. Like I'm not as hard on Hank as you are. I think he.
Where's your percentage at? If you got 100%, where you 50-50, 60-40, 70-30? What?
I don't know. Sure, 75 Simpsons, 25% Hank.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just think Hank bucked to pressure, so I'm disappointed in him. But I've been under that pressure. I understand why people fold under that pressure. It's hard.
I feel like if the Simpsons heads, the executives, told Hank, we're keeping this character no matter what. Now you can voice him, or we'll get someone else to voice him, as well as all of your other characters, he would have shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not about what it's not about what he believes, in my opinion. I feel like he's doing it just for attention. The Simpsons could put that hammer down and say, yo, we're keeping Apu. Or you could let go of Apu if you want, but you got to let go of your other characters. We
that's what
I'm like, okay, never mind.
There's too many other characters that could be questioned now if we're saying Apu is offensive. That's the problem, right? Now, granted, I don't know if Scottish people are really offended about Willie, but then it's like, well, why aren't they offended? Why aren't they offended? Because Groundskeeper Willie is not a well-rounded character. He's a buffoon, nudist. They've made him a like he was creepily like filming women and like the dude's a creep.
They set Groundskeeper Willie up to catch a felony. He didn't even know, man.
Yeah,
everybody had a plan.
Groundskeeper Willie's a creep and really not cool to Scottish people. So my point is like, why is that okay? And it's like, why are Scottish people not like, we need to cancel Scott? Because why? Because people be like, that's stupid, guys. Come on, get over yourself. Yeah. That's what they say. Yeah. But when, people Indian descent say, oh, well, we must listen. We must listen to this. And part of me is just like, well, no, we got to start. Look, I don't believe they made the character with hate. And that's the difference, right? For me, it's like there's ignorance and there's racism. And now, is there some ignorance here from the Simpsons part? Perhaps. I think it's hard because it wasn't, ages ago, and now they've been on so long that it really, the generations have changed, and I think that is something they have to atone and adjust. But I don't think they ever did it with any, hateful intent ever. I think they did it
was one of the most heartfelt moments in Simpsons history to me. It's one of the highlight episodes. So
who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? Not me.
I do.
It's beautiful.
Like,
and then
Apu's like, all right, Homer, thank you.
And are you really the leader of the? Are you really the leader of the Kwik-E-Mart? Yes. Are you really? Yes. That is all. Thank you. Come again. It's hilarious.
American, hello, Homer. Welcome to my restaurant.
And he sells Homer. And he sells Homer the old dog. Like, if anything, Homer.
He embraced his Indian heritage in that episode. He had to embrace that shit.
Well, when Lisa the vegetarian happens, and he's up there with Paul McCartney talking about and he's a vegan, and Paul. Anyway. It was really smart. They took the character and turned him away from a stereotype into a more well-rounded character, and that's why I'm sad. And that's why I think, and I do believe the Simpsons knew that they were trying to fight it, and they lost their cool, and they couldn't stand it, and they bucked the pressure, and that's sad and frustrating that they bucked the pressure. Let's talk about bucking the pressure. I am not excited for this. They just announced that Creed 3 has tapped writer King Richard writer Zach Balin to pen Creed 3 starring Michael B. Jordan. A director is yet to be confirmed, but it will be written. Look, I love Creed. I had fun with Creed 2, but I'm done with it. I don't see how this can continue to work. I think it's just going to become cheesy sequels, and I feel like it's going to lose. Creed 1 could lose the effect. This worries me. I don't need this. I'd rather Michael B. Jordan go do other things. Where do you stand on Creed? Do you think Creed 3 is an important, worthy installment into this franchise?
I think Creed 3 is just as worthy as Creed 2, in my opinion, from a narrative speaking. But because there was how many Rockies? 7 of them?
There's a lot of Rockies.
Well, Creed's.
Do you count Do you count Creed as Rockies? Because technically they are.
I count. No, I don't count Creed. Yeah, I count it.
There are 6. There are 6 Rockies, and then there's 2 Creeds. So there's 8 Rockies.
Okay, so that's a lot. My problem here is, who the freak? What is King Richard? Why is that in the headline? I never even heard of this movie. I don't know this writer. And last time the director and the writer from the first 2 are gone.
Yep. Well, King Richard was on the 2018 blacklist, which is like where the published scripts of what hasn't been picked up. Centers on the father of tennis greats Venus and Serena Williams. The script later attached Smith to star as Richard Williams. I guess, is it Will?
Because then Ryan Coogler, I think Ryan Coogler only wrote the second film, but he didn't direct it or vice versa.
Correct. He was like produced it. He wasn't really involved.
You don't have him involved here? Like, so you tell me Creed without Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, or even Stallone like writing the out treatment.
No Stallone, no Ryan Coogler.
Gosh,
why is this out?
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows if Michael B. Jordan will even do it, right? They're just writing the script, I think, probably to see if anybody's going to do it. But look, I thought 2. Did you like 2?
I did like 2.
Like, I thought 2 was silly, like some of the Rocky sequels are. I wasn't offended by it, but I didn't need it. And then as it went, I just sort of
you didn't need Rocky 2 or 3 or 4, but you once you got him, it was like, hey, give me.
Sure, but at the same time, there was a little bit of like a fun soap opera-ness of like, oh, they got Ivan Drago back. Like, it was nice to see him there. There was a little bit of like,
it was all about the emotion.
Correct, but it didn't.
I almost cried.
It didn't feel like a Creed movie. It felt like a Rocky movie.
It felt like a Rocky.
They were trying to combine them back in there, so that it felt like a cheesy Rocky sequel versus a good Creed sequel. So maybe if they wise up, and they're like, all right, well, let's actually figure out something for him to do. That's not. But I rewatched all the Rockies before I saw Creed 2. I love the sequels. Rocky 2 is actually really good because
all 4 Rockies are fire. Bro.
Yeah, well, not exactly. All but 5. But my point is,
I said all 4. I said all 4.
Even Rocky Balboa is Rocky Balboa is actually great too. But yeah, there is a story there. You're watching him, and I love too because he's like popular, famous, and then he loses it all. And you're just like, he's not, nobody cares anymore. They actually do have, adjustments in the movies that actually make it interesting. So I like the Rocky movies. So yeah, I mean, look, I guess it could work. I feel like this is a dangerous place to go for Michael B. Jordan. Like this, I feel like making a bunch of Creed sequels, I guess it's money. It's a franchise that sort of makes him seem bankable, but Creed 2 did not do as well. Creed 2, Creed 2.
I thought they both were pretty good.
Oh wait, Creed made 173 global. Creed 2,
214
earned. Okay, so wow, it did better. All right, well there you go. What do I know? Worldwide, I mean that's it's no Disney money, but yeah, it's 214 for a boxing movie. That's pretty good. So that makes sense why they would come back and try and do a third one quickly, and then cap it off as sort of a trilogy, maybe.
Plus, I think Michael B. Jordan's going to definitely have some executive power here because he has that new deal for inclusivity with Warner Brothers. And there's another Warner Brothers film. I think there's another one of his projects, just like he just came off of the film with Jamie Foxx and Brie Larson. I forgot the name of it already, but that was another one of his inclusivity type of moves here. So, I think this is much about Michael B. more than it is about anyone else.
Yeah, well, I'm interested to an extent. It depends what it is. I think this is more troublesome. I ain't putting my
money on it, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not putting my money, but I'll listen to see what it is. But I do think, and I saw someone else I was going to say this, but then I saw, I think, was it, Guancho, Rocky must pass away. I agree. You got to kill him off. At some point, you got to end the Rocky. It's got to be over. I don't want more Rockies. You got to have they've teased it for too long. I want a loss of Rocky to be effective and meaningful, and then let us move forward to know that the legacy moves on. And and I think you need to bring back his son, and maybe his son and Creed could be an interesting combination. So, then it's still a Rocky movie. That's not a Creed movie. So
I feel like the franchise dies with Stallone. If they kill Stallone off, the franchise loses its heart and soul. Like,
right, but that's the problem. Then
the
why make Creed movies? If
possibility-
you can't make a Creed movie with just Creed, then don't make them. That's where I'm at. Like, stop with the Creed
then
movies.
yeah,
Are these Rocky
absolutely.
movies or these Creed movies?
I mean, without Rocky, without Sylvester, they're nothing. Creed 1 was good, really, really
It was
good.
really good, and Stallone was great, and that fact that he was dying was awesome.
Exactly. I don't know how good Creed 1 is without Sylvester Stallone's Rocky.
Well, no, but that was the great bridge, right? And then Creed 2 became even more.
I don't know how good you take Sylvester Stallone out of Creed 2. He even more so. I feel like Stallone was better even more in 2 than he was in 1.
No. I don't agree with that.
He was emotional. He almost died in that movie.
Yeah,
I was sad for him.
I thought it was because you're going against this is the guy who killed my father. Like it seemed like it was going.
His son reunited in Creed 2, bro. That took me all the way back to the freaking first.
That's right.
Rocky.
At the end, you're right. It did come back.
Yeah, that was dope. I said, "Oh shoot, his son! Oh my god!"
Yeah, and they got Milo Ventimiglia, right? They did bring him back. I forgot that did happen too. I
Yes,
gotta rewatch it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna happen in 3. There's got to be some sort of like, why are you over with this kid instead of me, Dad? Type of moment. But then again, that's my point. It's all Rocky movies. Can they be Creed movies? Can Michael B. Jordan do a movie without Stallone?
Yeah, but
that's the debate. That is the debate. All right, going through quickly because I need to wrap up because it's already late here. What was I gonna say? Let's skip that one. Let's do.
Creed will eventually have to move on from Rocky. Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know if there's a space there for him.
All right, so here we'll end on this story. Here we go. Tom Holland praises Sony's original plan, even though he tried to stop it. He was quoted on MTV News. The future of Spider-Man was still very bright with Sony, and we had a really wonderful idea how we could sort of transition into a Spider-Man without the MCU. And Tom Rothman and Amy Pascal were really confident that they were going to do it justice and make a film caliber that Spider-Man requires. And then. But when that actioned, he's trying to save face. Like, yeah, Sony's great. But then we got to remember, Holland began flexing his diplomacy at the D23 wrapped. He leaned on Rothman to re-engage with Disney. The actor was able to leverage his clout because he also is set to star in Sony's Uncharted, and surprisingly reached out to Iger and beseeching one of Hollywood's most powerful executives to return to the table. So, like, first of all, kudos to Holland. Like, who knew Holland had this much sort of sway and could pull it all together? But the fact that he did call Iger before all that happened and got him at the table and actually said, "Come on, why'd you leave?" And Bob listened. Like that was pretty impressive. So my point is, I don't think he would have done all that if he really believed in Sony. Can you change my mind on that, or do you agree?
I'm trying to fully understand what's going on here.
I think Holland knew that the Spider-Man he's in only works with Marvel.
Are we talking about when they were having those negotiations?
Yeah, I mean, but the point is, this new quote on MTV, he's just trying to sort of praise up, like, yeah, no, we were going to do some great stuff, just Sony. If the MCU didn't come back, it still would have worked. We would have made some great films. I think that's saving face, and I think he knew that.
Great films for Sony or for the MCU?
For Sony. If they hadn't come back to the table, which Tom Holland brought them back to the table, he's making this quote now. Saving face. He's like, yeah, Sony would have been great. We knew it was going to be good. Yeah. My point, what I'm trying to say is, I don't buy it. I think he's just saving face right now.
I don't buy nothing that comes out that child's mouth, bro. He sat up there on camera and told the guy interviewing him, who would he rather have come back? Would he rather have Uncle Ben, Tony Stark, I don't freaking know, a cat, Zendaya? He said Tony Stark. How the freak are you a Spider-Man and you say and you don't want Uncle Ben back? That'll make no sense.
I don't want another Uncle. I don't want to watch Uncle Ben die again. Enough.
You gotta have Uncle Ben, bro.
No.
Who said he has to die? Who said he has to die?
I don't want another Uncle Ben.
You don't have to show Uncle Ben die. You gotta have him there.
Why?
Where is he gonna get his growth? How's he gonna get his character?
They made Tony give him some growth, and I think Happy is gonna give him the growth. Happy's his Uncle Ben.
Happy?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I like Happy.
What is that?
I don't want another Uncle Ben. Too many Uncle Bens. Enough with Uncle Bens.
But you're settling for different alternate Uncle Bens. Tony Stark is Uncle Ben. Happy is Uncle Ben. He's just not called Uncle Ben. So what are you talking about? Just get rid of that type of character, period. If you
No,
don't
let's
want
do
Uncle
something
Ben.
new and not repeat the same crap we've seen over and over
It's the
again.
same crap. They're just not calling him Uncle Ben.
No, if you put Uncle Ben there, he's going to die. And I don't want to see that again. I've seen it way too many times.
Like Tony Stark did?
Yeah, but he died in
Same thing.
No, but that was a surprise.
Thing.
No, we don't have, dude. We've never seen Iron Man die. That was now if they brought Iron Man back to die again, sure, I'm with you. But we've seen Uncle Ben die a million. I'm over it. I don't need to see it anymore. It's so expected.
Uncle Ben, wait, yeah, like it's Batman's parents died. Uncle Ben only died twice in 2 different trilogies.
Yeah, enough. I don't need a third time. You want it to turn into like Bruce Wayne's parents?
I'm focused on the death. I'm focused on the characters.
What's the point? The character shapes because of great power comes great responsibility, and the death. The death is what shapes Peter Parker. Without the death, he doesn't even listen to him.
Soul.
He doesn't listen to him without the death.
Soul without his freaking uncle, bro. He was making so many mistakes because his uncle dead. Well, what Uncle Ben do? He was crying to Ame. I don't know what to do. Man, it's because his uncle was dead, bro. Man, you gotta have Uncle Ben in there to give him those morals. Tom Holland don't have nothing. He doesn't have any type of character development to be a man.
What if they like brought in Happy again, and then Happy ends up like marrying his mom, and he's like, yeah, well, my middle name's Ben. Would that please you?
No, it would not please.
That would annoy the shit out of me. Technically, we have an Uncle Ben.
So that Iron Man was Uncle Ben, technically. In Homecoming, he was Uncle Ben. He just had powers.
So there you go. We don't need an Uncle Ben. Thanks for proving my points.
But what I'm saying is that Iron Man didn't instill anything in Tom. He said, stay out of it, little kid. Stay. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. Uncle Ben is an encourager. You have the ability within you. You need to step up to the plate and be the man, be the hero. Tony Stark never gave him that responsibility.
Bunda says, who is Tom Holland to get all this clout? What's he ever done? Civil War wasn't his movie. Homecoming wasn't his movie. Far From Home was caca. It's a fair question, but I don't disagree with you, but he got it. He got the heads of Sony and the heads of Disney to come back to negotiations. Dude, hate him all you want or call him out all you want. That takes clout because those are two very important, powerful people, and they wanted to please him. So that says something about his clout, right? You can't deny that. Can you deny that, Jody?
I think he has no clout. I just think that was a fluke. I think that he probably.
What is clout if it's not to get Bob Iger to show up to negotiations again and Sony be like, hey guys, I know you just left and it's not going to happen. How about one more time? That's clout, dude.
No, it's not clout. Can I make a scenario up? Whenever Mark Ruffalo has a problem and calls Bob, hey Bob, I was wondering, can we do no, I don't think I'm willing to do. Okay, bye. Bob, Chris Hemsworth online went. Okay, hey Chris, hey Bob, I heard that you're gonna make Thor a cook and make him funny. I just want to say thank you for that. But there's an issue I have. Just be happy that you got what you got. Tom Holland on line 3. Okay, bring him in. Hey, Tom. Bob, you're really tearing Spider-Man apart. I'm crying like a little boy. Don't cry, Tom. No, it's okay. You're really. I don't know if what I'm. Tom. Okay. Well, I'll have the meeting. Okay. All right. Bye. He ain't never experienced a crying little weaseling boy crying on the phone. And he said, all right, this is a child. Let me do this Make-A-Wish Foundation for Tom. That's what it was, bruh. He ain't no grown man. So he went the child cry route. Crying always works.
End scene. Bravo. I went full screen for that. That was fantastic. I'm not going to disagree. I could see part of that, but I still think he called. He didn't have to. He could have been like, yeah, Tom, I'll send my people over there to do it. He showed up. That's clout. That's clout. Bunda, thank you. Man, Bunda, come on. Bunda's the only one who supports the stream. What would I do without you, Bunda? Only one who puts his money where his mouth is. Everyone else just sits there quietly and watches without supporting. No, thank you, Bunda. Spider-Man sweet. See, but he gets involved in the conversation. It's like he's part of the team. Get everybody else. What you waiting for? And come on, Jody just gave that amazing monologue. What are we doing for you here? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Gladiator's coming out, 25th anniversary.
Spider-Man sweet has clout. You can put anyone in it. Oh, the suit. Sorry, he spelled it wrong. Spider-Man's suit has clout. You can put anyone. Sure, but he's wearing the suit now, so he's got the clout. Thank you for proving my points. Now, when he takes the suit off, yeah, he's going to be back to doing whatever the hell he was doing before. But In the meanwhile, he's got the suit, and the audience likes him in that suit. They really like him in that suit. So I think he's got some clout, is all I'm saying. Anyway, that's what I got. Jody, any final words or things you want to say as we wrap up this stream? Who is the best Spider-Man?
Best Spider-Man's Tobey Maguire, hands down. Number 2 is runner up. Number 2, coming from behind the underdog, Andrew Garfield.
No.
And coming
Over
up
Holland?
dead last, Tom Holland.
No,
bro.
we'll have to fight that. Let's do that one. Can we do that tomorrow night on your show?
And I got you, bro. Best Spider-Man.
Garfield over Holland? No. Maguire. Look,
Tom Holland. Let's go.
Maguire has a place in my heart. I'm not going to argue there. I could see that one. I do think Holland is the better Peter Parker.
I agree. But a better Spider-Man. Garfield destroys Tom Holland. Destroys him. Andrew Garfield is the best, like, just Spider-Man.
He's a terrible Peter Parker, though. You got to have both. And Tom Holland's not a terrible Spider-Man. He's Andrew Garfield's a terrible Peter Parker.
Tom Holland is a worse Spider-Man than Andrew Garfield is Peter Parker. Tom Holland's Spider-Man doesn't even have spider senses, bro. I don't want to hear it. He's whack.
Well, I'll fight that with you another time. Guys, if you haven't ever seen it, wait, did I just add a moderator that I didn't mean to? Oh, God. What did I just add?
I'm down.
Did I just add somebody? Did I add somebody without realizing and now they're moderating? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter.
Look at all those Tobys. Tobey Maguire is the dude. I think that's
Toby's great. I got no problem with Toby.
Yeah. Toby is apple pie. He has the perfect balance of both. You know, he got a little issues here, a little there, but it balances out to apple pie. Andrew Garfield is like a strudel. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not in the mood for it. You know, you add a little whipped cream and maybe. Tom Holland is one of those 50-cent apple pies that come in the paper bag at the grocery store, bruh. That's what Tom Holland is, bruh.
Well, I want to say thank you to, I promoted one of you today. Vitaly, you've been a member. I see you. I support you. I've just added you as a moderator. You'll see a little wrench next to your name. You can now, I'm going to get rid of Streamlabs. Way to go, Vitaly, for being a member and for so long. And welcome to the moderation team. I see a lot of you. Yash, Toby. I see so many of you here that I a lot of times over and over again. So I wanted to call you out. Thank you for the support. K-Dots, as always, you're in everybody's, but Jody's and I love you, man. Yep. Anyway, a lot of love in the stream and the comments. Thank you, guys. Become a member, please. It helps fund this channel. It keeps it going. You get some cool, look at these emojis, guys. Come on, I'm going to do it. Wait, before I go, I want to send these emojis so everyone can see how amazing they are. Where'd it go? Skin tone? What are you doing?
Squeezy the chat. There he is.
Yeah. I can't, it's not letting me send my emojis. What the heck? Hello? Pick emoji, skin tone.
K-Dot, Belied, Shabweezy, they'll make great mods for your channel, bro. They're on their job. So if you ever need a freaking Titan, Titans that will, show love and be the army, be a general.
Yeah, and I gotta remove Streamlabs. I'm sorry. I don't know why that keeps happening. I can't, can you send chat my emojis? They're not showing up here.
Bunda dropped some.
There we go. Thank you, Bunda. He got them. Bunda got the emojis. The Jody face, the Andy face. We got Yoda. We got Captain America. We got Batman. And you get little badges, so I actually see your things easier. K-Dots. Yeah, welcome to the mod squad. Well, there you have it. Thank you, guys. Join when you can. Hit the join button. You'll learn more. And like I said, go. I'm gonna put the link. I'm putting the link down here. YouTube.com/hugging the cactus. I want to see some subscribers after this. Go as soon as we leave here. Go over there and follow. You're going to want to see these fire interviews I got brewing, and you're going to want to support this show. It's why won't it? Come on, go. Oh, come on. This is emojis? What is wrong with this thing?
There's Belied in there. That'll be a complete little duo for your mod squad team.
Oh, Belied?
Belied.
Oh, okay. Champ. Is he one of your mods?
CG. He's a model. He's been a model of mine since the beginning.
All right. Hey, if you vouch.
I vouch for him.
Okay, 100%. Hold on. I'm just putting this link in before I forget. YouTube.com. Oh, I got to put the HTTP. Come on.
I normally don't see Shabweezy in here. That's why it's...
YouTube. Oh, shut up,
YouTube. Hugging the
Streamlabs.
Cactus. Everybody, make sure you guys go to Hugging the Cactus YouTube channel. He just started it. Is a couple days ago, right? I'm already subscribed.
Hugging the Cactus on YouTube. Go check it out. Hit the alerts. Go subscribe. Trying to get 1,000 things so I can get monetized before the first episode drops. I might do a stream over there at some point. We should do like a deep conversation that we could promote. See if because I need to get the watch time up on that channel. But we'll talk. I'll figure it out. I got to figure out ways to get people to go watch the videos there because you can't. You need 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 minutes of watch time or some nonsense. It's crazy. But I got to try and figure it out. So before I launch, I can do that. Bala, there you go. Got your buddy in. There we go. More mods to help keep this family going.
Yeah,
and all of you who signed up and supported tonight, thank you so much for doing it. We'll be back. I'll be here every day at 2 o'clock on weekdays over in Phantom Wire. Here we do that live stream, my morning afternoon show, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And I'll be back on Jody's Corner tomorrow night. I can do regular time. Earlier the better. So we'll talk and tell you when. But tune into us doing Yin and Yang tomorrow, and then Nerd Wars Thursday, and then I'm taking a break and going on my weekend and enjoying myself. So thank you so much, guys. Jody, any plugs before I go?
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Boom! And check out The Invisible Man this weekend. It's actually pretty fun. I'll drop my review tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go subscribe. Hug the Cactus. Love y'all. Bye!
Fire show. Peace.